Freaks of Nature podcast. I'm a Triffid.
And I'm a Clementine.
This week's censorship animal is the spring peeper.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's actually not even a bird. That is totally a frog. It's a teeny little tree frog with a very, very big sound. It's probably the loudest animal for its body size.
So it's like the Christina Aguilera of the frog world.
That's pretty comparable, yeah. And that's its happy springtime noise. You may hear that in the evening or at night in the springtime. It's just all the spring peeper males getting together and saying, "Yay, it's warm now, so f*** me." Let's all accept the fact that that's exactly what's going on when we listen to all the wonderful sounds of springtime. It's just a whole bunch of different animals saying, "I'm here now and it's nice out, so f*** me."
Spring is gross.
God, spring, what do you even... Ugh, gross.
Well, here, it doesn't even feel like spring right now.
No, it feels like summer.
Yeah, it's really, really hot. The sun is shining. It's very, very humid.
Usually the May long weekend is probably the first nice weekend of spring, but it's not always even a nice weekend. This is not first nice weekend weather. This is middle of summer weather for up here.
And, I mean, really, it's not the first nice weekend. Like, it's been nice for a while before this.
Apparently, I missed out on my warbler migration, which I was really excited for.
Oh.
Because this winter was so mild that I had the wrong idea of when the migration was going to start, because last winter was actually very, very cold for a very long time. And so by the time the warblers were migrating, it was around this time last year. And that's when I got to see 13 different species of warbler in the same 5-foot square patch of beach. And it was amazing, and I loved it. I was really hoping for more of that, but it was probably both even earlier this year and even more gradual because the warblers had a lot more time to get up here. So now they're all hiding in the woods, and they're all comfortably chirping away, telling the females to f*** them.
Nature is sick.
Again, I'm sorry, that's just exactly what's happening when birds are tweeting their beautiful calls. It's all just bar scene dating. It's pretty.
I guess.
And the males are really pretty with the colors. Since it's breeding season, they've got all their fancy plumage out. Because a lot of warblers aren't actually that pretty in the fall, because they're not going to bother to have the really pretty colors. It takes more nutrition and energy to have those vibrant colors all year round.
So, do they actually, like, grow different feathers?
In some species, that's the case. I'm not sure if it's the case with warblers. Apparently, with some birds, it's a matter of molting, so shedding all your feathers and growing back in new ones. And with some species, it's just a matter of wear and tear changing the color. So it depends on what species of bird. But I'm excited because I've been seeing lots of bees. Bumblebees, specifically. There's all sorts of different kinds of bees. And there's also many different species of bumblebees. I've already seen at least 2 different species of bumblebee buzzing around on my lawn. And I think they're all queens based on the time of year and how big they are.
They are awfully big. This big.
She's got her fingers about an inch apart. Bees that we're seeing right now that it's finally warm enough, are only the fresh queen bees that were born at the end of the year last year. Basically, before everything froze over, all those new queens that were born last year went and found a place to hide on their own and to hibernate, basically just in the ground.
Okay.
And so now that they're awake, they're just finding places to make something of themselves and start that fresh new colony. So we probably won't see any other worker females or males or anything like that, any of the smaller ones, until later in the year. Because right now it's honestly just queens trying to find a spot to establish and make a proper hive.
And they live in the ground? Or
Yeah, they
hide in the ground?
Yeah, they just went to hibernate under the ground so that they don't freeze to death. And they made sure to take a whole bunch of honey stored up in their stomachs to survive it.
So, like, you could accidentally step on a bumblebee by walking around?
Hopefully they would hide a lot deeper than that. I mean, technically you could do that in the summer too.
Oh god, yeah.
Unfortunately, she would not be happy about that either.
Thanks to Winnie the Pooh, I have a very skewed idea of what beehives look like. They always hang from a tree. They're very large and yellow and sort of cartoony. So I've never seen one in real life.
And actually, it's funny because bumblebee hives are much more likely to not be external like that. They're actually usually going to be made inside of a pre-existing hole. Wasps' nests are like that.
So Winnie the Pooh was lies?
Lies. Depending on the type. I'm not sure if honeybees make nests that are like that.
It's too late. My childhood is ruined.
Ruined childhood. I'm great for that.
Yeah, I know.
Ruining childhood.
I feel like you do that to me every time.
Gee, thanks, Triff. God. I think it's time for that part that I hate.
Yay! It's my favorite part.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You know, I would actually appreciate if this part had some sort of cool theme music.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, so it's time now for Totally True Facts with me, Clementine. This week's facts are an ode to spring. So, number 1. Flowers are a usual and expected part of the spring season. But did you know that without the hard work and dedication of the bank vole, we wouldn't have any? The vole is known for being nocturnal. This is because it got stuck with the night shift in the Flowers for Camouflage Guild and spends its nights planting flowers to make the world a safer place for all rodents. Try not to have an aneurysm.
Oh,
All right.
that's... Okay. Okay, so, there's obvious pieces, but then there's also the fact that we don't even have bank voles in Canada.
What?
I'm sorry. Where did you even get that word?
Okay.
How did you even hear about bank voles and then not even... Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you Google vole, the
Yeah.
cutest one is the bank vole.
Right. Okay, that logic makes sense in your life. Okay.
I mean, I didn't bother to read about it. I just, It's cute. It's really cute with its little beady eyes.
Oh god, they're adorable.
Yeah. Well, then how do you explain all the flowers suddenly deciding to show up in the morning?
The fact that it's warm enough for the seeds to germinate?
Oh. I mean, other than that, who plants them?
The fact that there's enough UV radiation for the seeds to germinate?
Oh my god, it's radiation.
Who plants them? The plants plant them.
It's just weird.
You just drop them on the ground in the fall.
Alright, well, you believe what you want.
Oh my god.
My version's way cuter.
No. Well, it is cuter. That doesn't mean it's true.
I mean, like tiny little voles with little seed packs and a little hard hat with a light on it because they have to be able to see, right? And they're going around with their little shovels, digging spots for plants.
I will give you a bit of credit in the sense that a lot of rodents that eat a lot of plant matter really contribute to seed dispersal. So there's lots of animals that eat lots of berries, and then the berries go through their digestive system, but the seeds may be hard to digest, and they come out the other end.
So they do plant them, but they plant them accidentally with their poop.
Yes. Planting them with their butts. I mean, the vole is probably one of those. I know that the flying squirrel does that for mushrooms, so that's helpful.
Mushrooms don't have seeds.
They do. They're very tiny, teeny.
Well,
They're
have
spores. They have
but,
spores.
They pass through the chipmunks?
Apparently.
Huh.
Well, no, the flying squirrels.
Or yeah, flying squirrels. Whatever. Yeah. They're all the same.
See, this is why we have problems.
They're cute little things that will definitely bite you if you get too close. Okay, so kind of accurate, number 1. All right, number 2, more spring.
Okay.
In the spring, creatures and plants that spent the winter hibernating can finally wake up. Not because they were done sleeping, though. An awful lot of creatures feel that the warmer weather gives them permission to have loud parties, which interrupts the hibernating folks and makes them fairly cranky. So, for the first couple of months of springtime, do try to be quiet, let these guys sleep in, and don't be assholes like the warblers and peepers of the world.
Okay. First of all, plants don't hibernate.
They do.
Oh, they go dormant.
Isn't that the same thing?
We just had this conversation about how plants grow.
Well, I wasn't listening.
Okay.
When you get woken up from a nice, long, deep sleep by some asshole being all loud, having a party, apparently it's a sex party because nature is gross, aren't you gonna be mad? Like, just everything's gonna go downhill from there. That's why certain creatures are a little more cranky than others.
I think probably the most egregious part of this lie is the fact that, yes, it is.
I did hard work on this.
Yes, you worked very hard there with your pen and paper. Is the assumption that animals are trying to sleep through this very, very advantageous part of the year where things are finally warming up enough and there's finally enough plant material for herbivores to be able to find food and for carnivores to be able to take advantage of those herbivores.
So what you're saying is they wake up because if they don't, they'll die.
Pretty much.
Okay.
The only reason why hibernating creatures hibernate as a method for dealing with the winter in the first place is the fact that relocating to somewhere warmer isn't an option, and because there's not enough food, and because they happen to not be able to find enough food during the winter time that they can actually survive while being awake and using up the resources required to actually be awake and functioning. So as soon as that scenario changes, as soon as there's enough to eat in the environment that they're living in, they're not going to want to sleep in through that.
How do they know?
It depends on the species.
Is it because everything's really loud?
I don't think so.
Oh, fine.
The temperature generally helps.
Fine.
It may also be the angle of the light from the sun in certain plant species.
All right, well, that's, again, not as fun as my explanation, but Number 3, speaking of sleeping, spring is the time for mating. In the nature world, this means lots of fancy dates. You may notice creatures flocking to various areas that are closer to cities. They do this so that when the doors close on human buildings, they get to be first in line for the secret discos that are held there. So next time you see a bird inside a building, congratulate it on a successful date that clearly went on long enough for sexy times.
Wait, what?
The secret bird discos.
That happen after the restaurants close at night?
Yeah.
But if that's true, why don't all the birds hang out in the secret discos? And also, I want to be at the disco party. I refuse to believe this is true simply because I feel mad about being left out of the bird discos.
I'm sorry to break this to you, but you are not a bird. I mean, as we very clearly establish at the beginning of every episode, you are a triffid, which is a plant.
And so are you.
Yeah.
Because you're a Clementine.
That's why I'm not invited either. Yeah. And quite frankly, if either of us went, we might be on, the dinner menu.
Because apparently bald eagles have these parties too?
Well, yes, all of them.
What?
That's what springtime is about. Secret bird discos.
Oh my god.
They make their own music. They have fancy colors. I bet you some of them even have glow-in-the-dark feathers.
There are so many fancy mating parties that happen in the bird world, but I guarantee you they are mostly not happening inside our buildings.
So riddle me this. Why are there always birds inside hardware stores?
Because they sell dirt that might have worms in it.
Oh, okay, fair. Oh, you ruined all of my fun ideas. Can't have anybody. You know what you are? You're the fun crusher.
I'm a fun crusher. That's fine.
On the bright side, that means you're a crusher, so that's cool. All right, so no bird discos.
No bird discos. I mean, birds have so many fun little mating rituals and ways for the guys to strut their stuff. And it's so fun to look into them. But no, not inside of our buildings, no. I found out a really fun little mating thing that the guys do in a species of woodpecker, and I managed to get it on video. Not in a gross way.
Okay.
Not in a pervert way.
All right.
There's a species of woodpecker called the northern flicker.
I'm sorry. Barely M12. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, it gets even better. They're also known as the yellow-shafted flicker.
Oof. Babesies.
God, there's so many jokes. And I love them. So it was actually my birthday the other day, and I was so glad that one of my relatives actually gave me a card that had that joke. It had bush tits and woodpeckers and boobies. And it was like, we gotta stop letting dudes name birds.
Oh my god. You know when kids first start becoming autonomous, they start becoming individuals and they learn bad words, and then they just start calling everything that's what it is. That's what happened with nature.
That's what happened with nature.
A whole bunch of people, apparently with the mentality of 10-year-olds, decided to name everything.
Especially birds.
Yeah,
it's especially bad in the bird community.
Why birds? Why? I don't know. Did they think no one would notice ever?
I guess we have some fairly eccentric people in our history of birders.
So, tell me, woodpecker, cool, matey thing.
Oh, yeah. The yellow-shafted flicker.
Okay, try again, but without saying the name.
These woodpeckers are actually pretty cute. They even have little bow ties as a little patch of dark under their chins.
Oh.
Yeah. They're super
that
cute.
is really cute.
And little patches of red like little yarmulkes. And the males, when wanting to one-up each other in front of a female that they want to impress, they will get really close to each other, but not too close, and they'll do sort of a fencing dance. It's not actual beak fencing. They never actually clack their beaks together in a fight. They just sort of do these little figure eights, up and down, back and forth with their beaks.
It's like that slap game.
Oh, is that where you
try to slap their hands?
Oh yeah, but trying to slap someone's hands
actually, if you're doing it correctly, no one's actually getting hit.
Actually getting slapped.
Or the knife thing.
Oh yeah.
Between your fingers.
Yeah.
If you're doing it right, you don't get stabbed. God, humans are pretty much the same as everything else.
Yeah.
All right, so they do cool little fencing things.
And you can actually, I managed to take a video of it when I saw it for the first time, and then later on I confirmed what it actually was that I was watching. The video is on the Facebook page for anybody that's interested. So you can go and check that out on the Facebook page. And on Twitter.
Birds on Twitter.
Birds on Twitter.
Okay. So then, if the two of them are doing this, the two male birds are doing this.
Say it!
No, it's a yellow shafted flicker.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I felt dirty saying it. I don't like it.
Welcome to my life.
Okay, so these two birds, they're sitting there, they're doing this crazy dance. Do you know how the female chooses? And does it have anything to do with if one of them fucks up?
I'm not sure, but when I was watching it, it looked like one of the males was getting intimidated by the other.
Oh.
They were both doing the little back and forth, up and down beak dance with each other, but one of them was definitely inching further away down the branch as this was happening, away from the other one, and the other one was getting closer to him.
So then the idea is, I'm just going to do this, and if you get too close, I'll stab your eyes out?
I think that's the general
Okay.
suggestion, yeah.
I was also wobbling my head when I did that.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Your little head bob. Boop, 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 boop. So I think the idea is generally that one of them backs off eventually and just can't even handle that dance power.
Okay, this is relevant to my last Totally True Facts, by the way.
Okay, fine.
Dance parties, totally a thing. Required, outdoors. Yes.
The thing is that you were totally wrong on where it happens.
Yeah.
But dance-offs in the bird world are a thing.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody to go look into more really, really awesome dance parties that birds have in the springtime. There's lots of really amazing ones, especially the mannequin bird. I don't know if we have enough time to discuss mannequin birds in this particular podcast episode, but look up any species of mannequin bird, and I highly doubt you'll be disappointed by the dance-offs that happen between males for those.
I'm fairly suspicious that you're making that up.
I'm so not.
Okay.
For real. There's a moonwalk. It happens. It's a thing.
My day is complete.
See, I made your day better. I ruined your childhood and then I fixed it.
Oh, no, that's just not, no.
That's, no, it's good. I'm done. I fixed it.
Thanks. That's great.
That is all the time that we have for today, but until next time, you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter, and of course, here on YouTube. Remember to subscribe to our posts on Facebook as well if you want to get all of our updates instead of just happening to see them on your newsfeed.
Yeah, so have good springtimes.
Enjoy your weekend, if this is one, and if not, then enjoy the summer that's coming up. We'll see you around through it.
Bye.